One of the bad things about being more grown up is now I'm having to go on a lot of hen nights. The first one I went on was very reasonable. It was just a night out. Then the next one I went on was like a night out and then brunch the next day. But then after that, it was a weekend in the Cotswolds. And then the last one I went on was 4 days in Spain. And next week I'm going to Japan for 18 months. And it just feels, like, you know...
Being a comedian is different from like other creative things in that you can't practice it in your bedroom. Like if you're in a band, you can practice in a garage, and with comedy you have to tell the jokes to an audience to know if they work. And then you're writing it yourself as well most of the time, so that's very like, feels very vulnerable because it's all you know, you've written it, you're performing it. There is that connection there that comedy can give you where we all can laugh at something, and when you find that, it's a really great feeling.
Welcome on this guided tour of a magical chocolate land. For the sake of copyright issues, my name is Wonky Willie.
My passion for comedy started when I was super young, and I found all my dad's old cassette tapes of all these like 50s radio shows. I was like, this thing is incredible, these ideas. I didn't even get all the comedy, but I knew it was funny and I loved it. And then I started watching stand-up and things when I was sort of like slightly older. I just started doing comedy and, you know, open spots and things at university and things in like the local scene, like at the Stand and places like that. I never got a proper job, you know, so if you never get a proper job, you don't have to quit one to become a comedian. You just kind of slide into it.
Like, sorry, what do you do, sir?
Software engineer.
So boring. But if you'd said it in an American accent, I'd be like, he probably works for the FBI.
So the sketches I do online, the one that sort of blew up was a character called Craig, who is a tour guide.
Welcome to the National Museum of Scotland, home to some of the greatest treasures in Scottish heritage, including the maiden guillotine, a jumpsuit Elton John wore one time, and Dolly the sheep, that sheep what looks like all the other sheep.
I'm sort of a big history nerd, and I come from Edinburgh, which is very touristy, and I just liked playing with the contrast between what Scotland is to tourists and in films and things, and what it is to live it as a place. Hello, my name is Craig. Welcome on this guided tour of Oran Moor, a place specifically named so that no one south of Carlisle can pronounce it. Come with me now into this desecrated church, which is now a worship place of hipsters. On the 26th of March, I'm doing a show at the Glasgow Comedy Festival at Oran Moor called Haunted House, and it's all about ghosts and seeing ghosts or not seeing ghosts, and also sort of growing up in Scotland and the kind of spooky reputation we sometimes have. The other thing I'm doing right now is I'm writing a book. It's going to be non-fiction about historical women I think are cool. For me, it's just trying to introduce people to the ways that history is really relevant to how we are today.
Miss Austen, I've just finished your book Pride and Prejudice, and it's pretty obvious it's a cheap knockoff of the film Bridget Jones. Be original.